Hey friends, how are you? Welcome to some car therapy. I want to go back to a topic we've spoken about before, but it's important, and that's worth and value. How much is something worth? So obviously we talk a lot about feeling validated, validation, unconditional acceptance of self. We use the feeling chart to tune into our child self and what he feels, what she feels, and to learn to feel better about ourselves, to feel that we're worth it. Many of us struggle with self-care, and the reason is because we take care of things that we value, and so that includes ourselves. So we're working on value and value with ourselves. Let's take a little bit further. So there's an idea that things are worth what you pay for it, right? What is it worth? It's worth what you paid for it. And this is an important concept, because if I get something for free, think about it in your own life. You know this. If I get something for free, and and there's an issue with it, I'm just whatever. It's not a big deal. But something that I paid for, I take it more seriously. I'm more bothered. If I got it for free and it breaks, I'm like, okay, it's a warranty, but just whatever. I don't really care. Maybe it's not worth my time. But where I paid for it, I paid money for it. And it gets broken or something, so there's a warranty. I need a credit back, because it's now all of a sudden worth more. Things are worth what I paid for it. I value it. I'll take care of it. It has a greater value. So let's move that over into the human realm. Okay, so some of us, as we're learning to be more validating of self, we all grow up learning to look outside of ourselves for a sense of who we are, a sense of ourself, our worth, and our value. And some of us get it, or some in part. We feel good. A lot of us, we need more, or we didn't get enough, or we didn't get any. And we're still looking for validation externally. That goes then to friends, to teachers, partners throughout life. We're looking for it externally, employers, co-workers. We're really looking for that validation externally. Now, what winds up happening for some of us, if you find yourself, giving too much, giving to people, doing for people when you really want to say no, not having boundaries, just burnt out, almost throwing yourself at people, and all the while ignoring yourself. So that's where that comes from. This, I'm really desperately seeking external validation. There's an exchange there. I'm going to try to give everything I can to you to make you happy, so you'll then smile at me or validate me or, like me, and then I'll feel good about me. I mean, it doesn't work, because deep down I still feel invalid. That's why we have to keep working that feelings chart and tuning into that kid self inside. But I'm ignoring myself, because I don't want to burden you with my burdens, my needs. And I'm trying to serve you as much as possible, just to solicit your validation of me. And so what happens is that I'm basically giving you myself for free. You don't have to work for it. Now, there's no payment that's there, but there is, in the sense, you don't have to do anything for it. Anytime you want it, you ask me, I show up, I give it to you. I become worthless. Me as a person of value is worthless. Anytime you want it, you have it. It's not good for me. That's not good for me. I'm part of creating a dynamic with somebody in which I feel in familiar old ways. Not worthwhile, not valid, not respected. And that's familiar to childhood, and that's why I'm doing it. But even for the other person, it's not good, because they don't they're getting value from me, but they don't value it, they don't respect it. Why? Because they didn't pay anything for it. The payment here would be, sometimes I say no. Sometimes I say I can't today, maybe tomorrow. Sometimes, whatever. I have some boundary. I'm not just available to you as much as you want, whenever you want. I'm not. And that becomes the payment, so to speak. Is, you can't just have me whenever. And sometimes I say no, and all of a sudden my value goes up. I feel better, because if I can't do it, I say no. That's me standing up for me and taking care of me. And for the other person as well, saying no, we feel, see, this is the challenge inside. You've got to validate that inner kid, because saying no to a person, sometimes we desperately feel, oh no, they're going to reject me. If I speak up and say how I feel, that I can't do it now, or I don't want to do it, or maybe tomorrow, or whatever it is, maybe they'll reject me, and that's why we have to take back the main bulk of the validation has to come internally from ourselves. So we fear, but what happens is we start to feel better because I'm not just throwing myself at somebody, desperate for validation. I'm validating me, and saying no at times when I want to say no is also taking care of me and protecting me. But for the person themselves, all of a sudden, I'm not free. I'm not cheap. I'm not. Whenever you want it, you can have it, and so now there's a value to it. There's a worth to it, and now we treasure it. It's more worthwhile. There's much more respect. And so I want to do the same thing here. Therapy has to be available and accessible to people. I want to do it. Basically, I've turned the group into kind of group messaging therapy, and I'm responding to people as much as possible in the comments. But I want you to value it. I want you to treasure it. I want you to click on the Patreon link and become a sponsor of the work that we're doing here. $3 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month. And then value it, treasure it, and invest yourself. Get involved in the comments, get involved in the post, invite some friends to join us. So let's up the value. Let's up our own personal value. Let's up this value over here. And then let's really dive in and let's really work and heal and grow. Let's turn this pandemic and this challenging times into a great opportunity for growth, where we'll look back on it one day and see that it was the positive in it, how much good it really led to.